You're listening to an interview taken from the Tonic Talk Show and Podcast, heard exclusively on Zoomer Radio. To download or listen to the original episode or other episodes of The Tonic, please visit thetonic.ca.
Joel Thuna is a master herbalist and general manager of Purely Natural. He strives to improve the quality of natural products in the market and passes along his knowledge of herbal remedies through lectures and articles. Joel is a regular contributor to Tonic Magazine and a longtime guest of the show. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
Adjusting like everyone else.
Yeah, I think, well, we are literally in the same boat.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, it's not one of those tour boats, where everybody's sick, but we're in a figurative boat altogether. And you were mentioning to me recently that even though we're well into the protocol, there's still a lot of people who have questions about immunity. Yeah?
Oh, definitely. We're receiving calls, faxes, and emails literally hourly sometimes.
Wow.
About it.
So how are you dealing with it at work? Do you have somebody who's dedicated to answer those questions, or?
We have our regular customer service team will answer any question health-related that we can. If it's something that's out of our realm of expertise, we will guide the person where to ask. Excellent.
So let's say I was calling you to talk about immunity, and you had some time to chat, which we do today. What would you tell me about the immune system?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that everyone should realize that your immune system, for the most part, we as Canadians take our immune system for granted and only start to care and worry about it during cold and flu season. This crisis, hopefully, one good thing out of it is that people will look to keep their immune system in perfect form or as good as they can get year-round to just keep themselves healthy. And we have to remember that the immune system is an incredibly complex system with so many moving parts that all need to work together to keep you safe and healthy.
Yep.
It's like an army, and it goes into full alert mode when it comes into contact with any germ it's never seen before. The army includes your skin, your mucus, which are both physical barriers to stop germs from getting into your body. It also includes over 100 trillion, and yes, I do mean the word trillion, bacteria that reside in your microbiome. The microbiome, you may have heard of it, is found in your gut, in your mucus, and actually on your skin. And the most amazing thing is that your microbiome produces antimicrobial compounds that compete with and combat germs by forming an active barrier. Now, underneath the mucus, you have what are called epithelial cells. These are cells that are really well squished together, and they're held together basically in layered sheets. And each one of these sheets forms another barrier to protect you from pathogens. Beyond your physical barriers, the epithelial cells also produce their own antimicrobial and antiviral compounds that are very hostile to pathogens. If a pathogen does somehow manage to get past these physical defenses, there's still even more obstacles that block them. After all that, then they'd have to deal with your white blood cells. These are the cells that actively attack and destroy invaders. These very specialized cells literally chase down pathogens, latch onto them, and just destroy them. They completely and utterly obliterate them. They're a killing machine of pathogens. Once they eliminate the threat, they then actually store information about that specific pathogen. So if you ever come in contact with it again, they can fight the pathogen faster and you get over the infection quicker. That is why you see that you get immune shots and they actually work, because what ends up happening is that a little bit, a part of a pathogen, your body recognizes, fights, and then has it in its library forever.
Right. So you're explaining how vaccines work, right? Like a benign version of the pathogen is literally put into your body, which doesn't cause all the negative effects. The white cells come to recognize the new pathogen and develop a strategy on how to destroy those cells so that they are ready to replicate should you actually come into contact with the real pathogen that isn't benign.
Definitely. And they're brutally efficient at it. Once they have that genetic material, it's in the library, and the army is brutally efficient.
Right. Okay. So is our system foolproof? Because we still get sick, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, all of us have immune systems which I'll call them blind spots. This is why some people tend to get a cold each and every season, no matter what, and other people are always getting UTIs, no matter what they do. For every single pathogen that we can take care of easily, there's one that sometimes can get through.
Yep.
And sometimes it'll be a blind spot that the same one gets through again and again and again and again and again. The easiest way to help you conquer those is not to get them in the first place. And this is the same mantra that's been drilled in 100,000 times to every single one of us over the past weeks is hand washing.
Okay.
Hand washing with soap and water at minimum 20 seconds is still the best way to prevent infections from happening from any kind of infection.
20 seconds is like an eternity, right? Like, I don't know anybody other than like surgeons who actually wash their hands for 20 seconds, right? Like, you're supposed to sing happy birthday while you're washing your hands, right? Isn't that 20 seconds roughly?
It's actually 2 rounds of happy birthday.
Is it really?
But the thing is, what we do in our house to make sure we actually hit 20 seconds, we actually aim for 60. And that way we figure we're going to accelerate that, sing really fast, and that way we'll hit at least 20.
I can't do anything for 60 seconds, Joel. So that I don't know what goes on in your house, but I don't anyways. So what you're saying is there are sometimes our white blood cells can't fight off the infection. So the best approach is preventative, right? So if you know, if you know, and you know, this sort of speaks to immune compromised people as well, right? Like if you know
anyone.
Yeah. If you know that you're susceptible, then you're just going to have to work that much harder to stop getting the illness in the first place.
Definitely. And in that realm, soap is king. Talk to any single person who knows what they're talking about, and they will say hand sanitizer is a backup. Soap and water washing is still so much better. And the reason behind that is soap and water actually rip apart and destroy the bacteria, the viruses. They actually emaciate them, whereby with your standard or even your enhanced sanitizers, all they do is they hurt it. They may kill some of it, but more often they hurt it than kill it. Your best bet always is soap and water. If you can't do that, then you move to hand sanitizer.
Okay. Is it because the hand sanitizers are alcohol-based, or is it something else?
It's not just that. It's actually the action of rubbing and lathering the soap, and soap itself. It's the chemical and the physical at the same time. It's a combination.
Okay.
Another big thing is very few people use enough sanitizer when they're using it, use it properly, or keep it on long enough.
Got it.
And this is something they've tried again and again and again, and they've just found time and time again that's the way people use it.
Okay. What else can we do to help our bodies fight off potential infection?
Well, definitely, we all know, keep your hands away from your face. It's the primary entry point for anything, so keep your hands away from your face. Don't touch it if you can avoid it, which we're all learning is more difficult than we thought.
Yeah.
On top of that is our diet. Like anything else, your body is a machine. The better off you treat the machine, the better it'll treat you.
Right.
You want to eat healthy. You want to eat a diet that's rich in antioxidants, water, fiber, vitamins, minerals. You need to give it enough raw material to make the antivirals, antibiotics, and connective tissue that your body uses to keep all these things out.
Right.
Refined carbs, especially sugar, processed foods, artificial ingredients, all act as immune suppressors, as does alcohol. Big one. Alcohol actually impedes the ability of your white blood cells to fight off invaders. And spices are your immune system's, I call them the cheering section. They are all massively rich in antioxidants, natural antivirals, and antibiotics. On top of that, they help with circulation, which helps your body fight off everything. I try to incorporate them into everything. For example, I add cinnamon and turmeric as well as ginger to any time I'm having a hot drink, be it tea or hot chocolate, just to make sure I get more in on top of my foods. But here's one big proviso of that. Please remember, salt is not a spice.
Right.
Spices are things, not salt.
Okay, so are you saying you shouldn't have salt, or it's just that salt isn't going to help you in this instance?
We as a society have way too much salt to begin with, and salt will definitely not help with this, and you want to keep your salt levels reduced compared to what most people take.
Okay. When you're talking about spices like turmeric and ginger and cinnamon, does it matter whether or not we cook them, and how much should we be taking? Because some of those spices can be quite intense, right? Like you're not talking about putting like a huge heaping tablespoon in, are you?
No, I'm saying start out slowly and work your way up to tolerances. In my house, for example, we all love spices, and we don't even measure them. We just pour them in. But that's also after 30, 40 years of doing a great deal of spices. My wife used to live in India, and over there, they don't even measure.
Right.
They just dump. And me, I grew up in this industry, so in our household, we always just had tons of it. It was a given. Mild food never existed in our house.
Fair enough. All right. So how do we help with gut health? Because you said before the microbiome, one of the key ones is in your gut.
Definitely. What you want to do is you want to take a good quality probiotic and prebiotic supplement daily, because 80% of your immunity comes from your gut. You have to treat it with respect. You want to give enough probiotics to your body every day to replace those that are naturally dying as they do their job. And so you want to replenish them every single day. On top of that, you want to take prebiotics, and prebiotics are the food for probiotics. And the point behind that is that if you just take probiotics, you're only replacing what's dying. If you actually take prebiotics and probiotics, not only are you replacing what's dying, you're also helping some not to die in the first place.
Right. And you're making the probiotics stronger by giving them the food they need to replicate and grow. So
Definitely.
I know that there are some foods that are prebiotic by their very nature. Can we get enough prebiotics in our diet?
Theoretically, yes, but the odds of doing it day in, day out are pretty slim. Yes, you could get some prebiotics if you had your fermented foods,
right? But
the odds of getting enough every day are very slim.
All right, because I'm trying my hardest. I've been having a lot of yogurt, a lot of, I don't like the kefir, but, we're trying with the sauerkraut, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go.
It's definitely not going to hurt, and it's going to widen your diet as well, which also doesn't hurt.
True. All right, what about supplements? What do you recommend?
Well, the big three vitamins are, 2 vitamins and mineral, vitamin C and zinc. There's tons of clinical evidence on the combination of 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and 10 milligrams of zinc in reducing the duration and the symptoms of viruses in the same family as COVID-19. Additionally to that is vitamin D. There's tons of information out there showing that vitamin D supplementation reduces the risk of respiratory infections. Additionally, there's a study that was just released. It's a long-term study on healthy aging out of Ireland. Then their critical statement at the end was vitamin D plays a critical role in preventing respiratory infections and boosting the immune system response to infections. Pretty much exactly what your immune system wants to hear you do.
Can we circle back to vitamin C for a quick sec?
Of course.
I understood that it kind of goes through your system, and that there's a point at which if you take vitamin C, it doesn't really matter. Like the more you take it, your body's just not going to be able to absorb it. So is that true? Am I right about that? Or can we
not really, because vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin.
Okay.
So you could take a ton of it today, and whatever your body doesn't use goes right out in your urine.
Okay.
Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. So what you don't use today, if you take too much, actually gets stored in your fat and your body will use later.
Got it. What about lifestyle, Joel?
Lifestyle always plays a role, always. You know me, I'm a big proponent of exercise and yoga.
Yep.
And the nice thing is physical exercise and yoga are both helpful not only for your immune system, but they also help respiratory health and your emotional health, because as all of us have seen right now, we're all going stir crazy.
Yep.
And yoga and exercise both are ways to help reduce our stress levels and help us handle things.
We have time for one more question, and that is detoxing. Is it yay or nay?
Definitely yay, but gentle, not severe. Not severe. You want to do a gentle detox daily, and the reason you do is we're all cooped up indoors. We've all got so much toxins around us. We're being bombarded all the time. Also, we've got all the sanitizers. We've got all the soap we're exposed to at all times. And a lot of us are eating preserved foods. You want to make sure that you have at least a couple glasses of really clean water with liquid chlorophyll every day, and drink as much water as you can handle, or tea, anything you can do to help your body eliminate and detox and get rid of the junk.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
It is always my pleasure, sir.